Record. There we go. And come on down. I have my blocks, I have my blanket, and we're going to begin in supported relaxation. So, getting your yourself situated, and I'm going to take my blanket and I'm going to roll up the very bottom of the blanket. And this creates a roll for kind of the nape of the neck, and it puts pressure, just a very gentle pressure. It adds support so that so that your neck feels more supported. It can be more comfortable to find that kind of uh, a little roll. It makes it a little more comfortable as you lie down, and as you're adjusting yourself, rocking your head a little from side to side, and have the feet on the ground, and the feet are met with distance, and the knees are together. I recommend having a little softness under the back of your head, because here we have, the occiput, so our connection to our vision. And it's, our nervous system is triggered by what we see, and also the meridians for the gallbladder, one of the wood elements, kind of wind their way through the head, through the skull, and kind of all in and around, crisscrossing, zigzagging, and in the very back there are these protrusions, little protrusions where the nape of your neck meets your skull, and those are gallbladder points as well. And the gallbladder helps us with our decision making, and it's just nice to find a little softness, to allow our experience to, in our doing every day, to find this softness, this softer place to be, which then helps to encourage a sense of clarity, of mental clarity, and ease with our moving in whatever direction we're going in our lives, whatever it is we're working on, finding a sense of ease. So there's a lot to be said for having some extra support under the back of your head and your neck. Now let your hands rest on your abdomen, and just rub your hands a little on your belly. And close your eyes. You might remove your glasses. I'm gonna go ahead and remove my glasses, because when we're lying down, I can't see much anyway. And so just resting here, really finding an exhalation through your mouth, letting your shoulders soften. They relax and sink towards the earth as well. And when your eyes close and your hands rest on your body, you can start to come into your breath, just noticing your breath, and you might notice your nervous system, whatever it is that it's doing. If you had a cup of coffee this morning, as I did, you kind of notice, you can kind of feel that coursing through your body as well. And you can smile at your experience, smile into whatever it is that you're feeling. And hopefully you also feel a sense of gratitude to yourself for taking time for your practice, time to rest, to recharge, to stretch, to move, to encourage the flow of energy through your body. And take a nice inhale and sigh it out. And let your knees come away from each other. And we're going to let the knees windshield wipe from side to side. And as they fall to one side, your hands can drift to the other side ribs, and Come through center to the other side. And just let your hands drift. Feeling that light pressure maybe, and feeling a stretch through your back, legs, and maybe even through the back of your neck. Another thing that happens if we have the head supported by a blanket, with a little bit of a roll at the bottom of it, is that your chin can come a little bit closer towards your chest, which lengthens the back of your neck. So you're sort of lengthening your spine, and you might even feel a little stretch through the back of your neck. And letting your breath just do what it does. And as your hands drift across your body, it's like you have these little fingertips of light. I love to think of these little light extensions coming out from your fingertips, and sort of drifting into the tissue underneath of them, into your internal organs, and just shining a light on your organs and helping them to feel warm and loved and cared for. Come back to center, and you're going to stretch your legs out. So you might bring your hands under your hips and press your buttocks away and extend each leg long. I'm going to find a banana shaped stretch. Reach your arms back overhead, and walk your heels over towards your right side, maybe. And if it feels good, you can grab hold of your left wrist with your right hand, and kind of down towards your feet, and breathe into that side of the body. You might cross your left ankle over your right heel. That doesn't work for me as well. It doesn't feel good, but it might feel good to you. And as always, our goal is to let your practice be yours. Trust your inner wisdom. Something that happens as you're resting in a posture for a few moments and breathing is your breath really becomes a focal point. You can even envision it extending into your whole side of your body, which feels nice. And come back to center, release your wrist, walk your heels to center and to the other side, walking your heels over this banana shaped stretch. Maybe you grab hold of your left wrist with your right, or your right wrist with your left hand, and you know what I mean. And just let yourself breathe and stretch. You could look down, or whatever your head wants to do. My head doesn't want to look down. It likes this little bit of a pressure and massage I'm getting on the back of my head from that rolled up blanket. Breathing, letting your breath become your focal point as you breathe into the side of your body. I'm willing to find a sigh, noises that feel good. Release the hand, come back to center, and bring your feet to the ground, and then bring your knees into your chest. Give your knees a hug. You're gonna rock the knees from side to side, and maybe your head goes the opposite direction of your knees. And just feel that little massage on your low back. Gonna, with the hands on your knees, press your knees away from you and then draw them back in. And as you find this movement, as you press your knees away, you might find an inhale and exhaling your knees in, inhaling your knees out, and see how the back of your neck feels as you're finding these movements as well. You're getting a little stretch in the back of your neck as you press your knees away. Maybe your chin comes a little bit more towards your chest. We're going to make circles with the knees now, going in opposite directions. So pressing your knees away, then letting them come out to the sides and back in and away, and letting your feet maybe move, your ankles, your toes into those cracks. Getting into your hip flexors. You can just feel so nice. You can go the opposite direction with your opposite direction circles. You're massaging your abdominal organs, you're breathing, you're getting that that fluid, that synovial fluid in the hip joint. We have so many, our chi, our energy presents as lots of fluids. We're composed primarily of water, so letting those fluids be fluid. Reach your arms and legs up towards the ceiling and shake them out. Let them shake a little. You can let your elbows bend. It's like you're, I like whenever we come to stand and you kind of bounce around and shake a little. It's like you're doing that, but kind of floating towards the ceiling, shaking a little, moving your wrists, moving your toes, whatever feels good, and encouraging the flow of lymph, flow of circulation through your extremities, and then bring your knees back into your chest. So we're getting a little wily here. If it feels good to you, bring your chin in and your hands under your knees and rock up and down your spine. If that's not for you, roll to your side and take your time coming to a seat. So we're going to roll up and down the spine a few times if it feels okay. It feels good to me this morning. Some days it doesn't. But keeping your chin tucked is a good way to, a good practice as you're doing this as well, to kind of get length through your spine and also to protect your neck. Just rock it and roll in as much or as little as you do. Massaging the long muscles along your spine. To a seat, however you get there. Let your legs come out in front of you and just give them a bounce, bouncing your legs on my glasses. Can't see. There you are. Windshield wipe your feet from side to side. Getting a little more energized. You're gonna pat down and up the legs. So taking your hands and patting down as far as you go and back up. And breathing as you do. And I know for myself, when I wake up in the morning and I come down and I down to this very space, my mat is set up a little different when I come down in the mornings, but sometimes just doing these types of exercises, even just a little patting, if I'm not going to do anything else, arm swings and patting can be really, really helpful. To just get the fluids going. All right. Very nice. And bring a hand to the inside of one leg, bring the foot in. The other leg, we're going to do the same thing, bringing the soles of your feet together in a butterfly. And you might move the fleshy bits from your sits bones, sitting up nice and tall and flutter your butterfly wings. Kind of like holding on to my ankles. It encourages my chest to open a little more. It encourages my shoulders to relax down. So I'm getting a little bit of a stretch through my shoulders. Let your jaw soften. Butterflies. Let your eyes soften and just sway. See how as you move through your practice, as we continue, where can you add just a little bit of your own flavor of swaying or moving? That's something that just feels good to you. It doesn't matter if I'm doing it or not. Smiling is good too. All right. We're going to come onto hands and knees. Bring your knees together and come on down into tabletop. And for tabletop, I'm going to bring my blocks under my wrists because I just like that, as you know. Coming into tabletop, I'm going to have my blocks at the lowest setting because we're going to do a few different things, but make some movements. Maybe some cats and some cows. Opening up your chest and rounding, maybe shifting your hips back towards your heels. You can kind of stretch one side, maybe that happy puppy where your nose comes towards your head. Maybe your toes are curled under and you're shifting your hips back, getting a stretch on the bottoms of your feet and pulling forward. You're making some circles with your body, one direction and then the other. But you're breathing all the while, finding that connection with your breath. And the more you connect with your breath, you can envision it moving into places that are a little tight. But as you stretch, you find maybe an inhale and an exhale, and you're getting right into some of those tighter spaces. Kind of find little froggy kicks. I'm gonna bring the tops of your feet down and then starting to bring your right leg, doesn't matter which leg, in and then press it out behind you, little frog kicks. Circling your hip and just doing this to whatever degree works for you. Froggy kicks. And outside, in. Then bringing your toes behind you, stretch your leg long and press through your calf muscle, pressing through your heel, getting a stretch there, breathing into that stretch after your little froggy kicks. Let your knee come back down. We'll do the other side, little froggy kicks. Bringing your knee in and out and around, pressing your leg behind you, maybe kicking something that you didn't think about was right behind you, and you chuckle because it's okay. And there's no award for graceful frogs. Frogs are just living their lives. We are enjoying life. Maybe lingering somewhere if you feel like, oh, it's a good place to linger. And then bring your toes to the ground, stretch out the leg, and breathe into your calf muscle. And I think, I don't know, like our calf muscles are, when it comes to circulation, you think about the lymph and the blood in your legs, how it has to make its way kind of against gravity to come back up to the chest. And it's good to get those stretches in to really relax some of the tissue as well in the calf muscles to encourage that flow. We'll come into a child's pose. Your big toes come together to touch, knees are wide, and I'm going to bring a block underneath of my forehead and extend my legs or my arms long in front of me. And I'm going to move the wrists around. Maybe you'll move your wrists, your fingers with something underneath of your forehead and rock your forehead from side to side. You got that massage on the back of your head earlier, or maybe when you were rocking your head from side to side as your knees were going the opposite direction. Now you're getting a massage on the front of your forehead, on the front of your head, and that's good for calming the spirit, clearing the mind, finding your breath. I like the block because it really adds a little bit of extra pressure, and I don't have to bring my forehead too far down, so it's not straining my neck at all. And that extra pressure, like right across the eyebrows or above the eyebrows, can feel really nice. You can find it with stacked hands. It's just your hands are a little soft. I'll take a deep inhale and let it go. I'll come into a downward facing dog. feels good to you today. And if not, you don't have to. Toes curl under, lift your knees, shift your hips up and back, and let your heels lift, let your palms press into the earth, your fingers press into the earth, and you bend and straighten your knees. You can lift and lower your heels, and then bring your knees back down to the ground and find a cow. Let your belly dip down low, lift your chin, lift your tailbone, breathe here for a moment. And find a cat. Round through your spine, tailbone comes in, chin to chest. And then come back into a down dog. Pressing through the palms of your hands, lift your hips and really lift your heels nice and high, pressing the ball of each foot into the earth and pressing through the palm of your hand and each finger joint, and a nice engaged arm. Relax your head and neck. A deep inhale and let it go. And do it again. Bring your knees down to the ground. Find a cow. Be there for a moment. Breathing into this kind of deep curve in the back, this back bend that you're finding. And then round forward into a cat. Finding the breath into your forward fold, your forward bend. Now take a deep breath in and exhale as you find down dog again. Lifting and lowering your heels, pressing through the palms of your hands, and envisioning this line going from the palms of your hands, up your arms, up your spine, and all the way to your tailbone. A deep inhale and let it go. And start to walk your hands towards your feet or feet to hands, doesn't matter. Forward fold. Let your feet be mat width distance and just rock a little from side to side. We're going to find sort of this weeping willow movement. And if you have a blanket on your mat, you might move it out of the way and just let yourself sway. Let your head, your shoulders relax, your wrists relax, and your feet really press down into the earth. Slowly rolling upwards. Chin stays tucked as your spine lifts up, and again just swaying, and you finally come towards the top. Let your shoulders come up to your ears. They roll back and your head floats up. And we're gonna just find a funky dance and make sure that you're in a place where your arms, if they're swinging, it won't hit anything. So getting to a good spot, and we're gonna swing the arms forward and back. I like to kind of lift my heels and then tamp them down sometimes, and maybe that feels good also. Letting your elbows bend, finding relaxation through your wrists and your fingers. And back to center. Let your arms come down, shake out your arms, shake out your feet, and find some twists. Now, letting your twists originate kind of in the bottoms of your feet as they press into the earth, and up the legs into your spine, and then letting maybe your arms hit your body if that feels good. Always breathing. And if your arms are hitting your body, you'll find this knocking on the door of life, letting one hand hit your chest and the other hand comes back and hits your kidney adrenal line. Encouraging the kind of processing of excess adrenaline, giving your kidneys a little boost. giving your heart and your lungs a little encouragement as well. And I'll come down to back to center. So turning down the movement, make your way to center and just stand for a moment. Feel the activity, feel all of the energy moving through your body. Take a deep inhale and let it go. Move your wrists and move your ankles, shake things out. And we're going to step the feet wide. We're going to find a side angle, kind of playing around with side angle. So letting your feet be parallel and bring your hands to your hips. Kind of wiggle around a little if it feels good. In fact, it might feel nice to make some circles. That feels good to me right now. So you're making some hip circles with your legs wider. You might come forward and to the side and around. And it's a little bit of a different experience than when the feet are closer together. Maybe your head dips down pretty low. Maybe you're feeling this, you're able to sort of breathe, direct your breath into your low back and into your area of your sacrum and down the backs of your legs into your glutes as well. Let's go the other direction with these big circles. There's this yoga teacher who teaches, it's called freedom style yoga, and I really resonate with just doing what feels good. But he was a student of Iyengar, and Iyengar yoga is very focused on specific kind of movements and tapping into the different muscle groups, paying very close attention to how they're working. And come back to center. I'm pressing your feet into the earth. We're going to come forward. Let's find a forward fold. So bringing your hands down, maybe they come to the ground, maybe they come to blocks. And you might be stretching the backs of your legs. Maybe you bend your knees and just sort of sway a little from one leg to the other. See if your head and neck can relax as you get this stretch on the backs of your legs. And so this teacher who teaches freedom style, he was a student of Iyengar when he was like in his early 20s, or like right when he graduated from high school. He like went to India. This is like in the 70s, and went to India and studied with Iyengar and taught Iyengar style. And eventually he realized that it was all just about lines of energy. It was all about moving the energy through the body. And so now he teaches what's called freedom style. And I get a lot of inspiration from that, where there's just we might find postures, certain postures, but then play in those postures and know that it's really about your experience. I'm going to press through your feet and slowly roll up to standing. See if you can really press through both feet and the outside edges of your feet. Your chin can come to your chest and shoulders come up to your ears, and I roll down. Right now we're ready for our side angle. If you have a block, you might bring a block to either the front or the back. I'm going to bring my blocks to the front of my mat. I'm going to show you this way. I'm going to have them on the highest setting for the time being. I'm going to turn one set of toes in, pressing through, pinky edge of that foot. I'm going to turn the other set of toes out, and bring your hands to your hips. You want to face forward still. I'm going to bend and straighten your front knee, bending and straightening the knee in the direction that you're going to end up going. And as you do, you could look down at your foot. What I think happens with this idea of freedom style is that it showed that it's so much like Qigong. Qigong and yoga are so similar. They're all about moving the body and encouraging the flow of energy. You're gonna then bend into your knee and bring your forearm down to maybe your upper leg, or maybe your fingertips come to block. That's what I'm gonna do. This is encouraging my knee to kind of point straight ahead, and I'm gonna take my other arm and I'm gonna sweep it in front of me and reach my fingertips towards the sky, towards the corner rather, so an angle, side angle. Taking a deep breath and letting it go. And bring your arm, sweep it back down, and then coming back to stand and turn all 10 toes to face forward and walk your feet in and then shake things out. There's a lot of wide-legged stance. Do the funky dance, catch your wrist, catch your feet, and stand for a moment. It's nice to do that. It's nice to find this pause and just notice how you feel. And take a deep breath and let it go. We're gonna find the wide-legged stance again, feet nice and wide as they want to go. I'm gonna bring my block kind of to the inside of my foot here and sort of the front of my mat, turning toes in, press through the pinky edge of your foot. Feel your heel really push into the ground and turn your other toes to face out and bring your hands to your hips and you bend and straighten into your knee. And noticing your hips, what they do. You'll have a hip kind of cock up. You can bring it down. You're just playing around, seeing if your hips can be on the same plane, if that's possible. And you look and you see your knee wants to move inward and envision it kind of moving straighter out towards the toes. And we'll bring the knee to bend and bring your forearm to your upper leg, or maybe your fingertips come to a block, or your hand comes to a block. It could be on a lower setting too. And feeling this stretch from the hip down to your pinky edge. Take your fingers and let them sweep forward. So then you're pointing towards the upper corner of your room, and it doesn't matter where your gaze goes. I like to look down. I think it's just easier for my neck. I like it better. I'm breathing. And sweep your fingertips back down, straighten your leg, coming up to stand. And step your feet back together. Shake out your arms, shake out your legs. And bring your hands to rest on your low abdomen, your dantian. Even finding a standing posture. When you bring your awareness to your feet pressing into the earth, or bring your awareness, your attention to your hands resting on your body, it dives deeper than just our physical activity, the things we do on a daily basis. Just bringing awareness to your breath, how you feel. We've been doing a lot in the hips. How do your hips feel? Taking a deep breath and letting it go. We're going to do that sequence of events again, stepping the feet away from each other and then folding forward. Having a wide-legged forward fold, and maybe your hands come to the ground. Maybe your feet walk further away from each other and you're pressing into the ground. Maybe the crown of your head comes down, or maybe you just sway and your knees are bent. Whatever feels good to you here. Listening to your body, relaxing your jaw. And in a style of yoga like Iyengar style, there's definitely a place for it. It can really help with structural issues. If anyone has really any structural issues that are inhibiting your quality of life, I would highly recommend a regular Iyengar style class. Slowly press through your feet, lift yourself up, and then let your shoulders come up to your ears and roll back. And we're going to start on the side we just finished on. Turn your toes in and your toes out. Bend and straighten into your knee. Feeling your hips, seeing if they can be kind of on a similar plane as you bend. And then bending your knee, bring your forearm to your leg. Maybe your hand comes down to a block at any height. And other arm sweeps up, fingertips towards the upper corner of your room. Looking down, breathing. Feeling that stretch in the inside of your leg, and then the outside of your back leg. Sweep your arm back down, straighten your leg, back up to stand. We'll go walk your feet together. Just stand. Notice. Maybe bring your hands to your body. That's never a bad idea. You can do that anytime to just touch base with you. And we'll step the feet away from each other one last time. They're parallel. Hands at hips, toes turn in, and toes turn out. Bend into the knee. You can bend and straighten a few times, kind of playing with your hips, seeing what they want to do, if they can be on the same plane. And then bring your forearm down. Maybe two fingers hand to a block. Other arm fingertips can sweep up into the upper corner of your room, breathing. Looking down. I like down. Pressing through both feet. And bringing that arm back down in front, standing up, straighten your leg, walk your feet towards each other. And we're going to make our way to the back of our mat. We come down through sort of a sun salutation. We'll have a downward dog again. If that feels good to you, I'm going to place my blanket there and come to the back of the mat and just move your wrists, move your feet. Find a stance to be in where you can just notice how you feel. Letting the crown of your head extend upwards as your feet sink into the earth. Feeling the energy move through your body. Take a deep inhale and let it go. You're gonna reach your arms up overhead and stretch and then fold forward. Walk your hands out. You can come into a tabletop. I like to come to tabletop and then downward dog. It just feels good to me. So one more downward dog if that feels good. It feels good to me today. Your head and neck relax. Take a deep inhale and go. Bring your knees back down to the ground. And if you are able to, we're going to come into a thunderbolt. So let your toes come straight back. Your knees are about hip width distance. And I'm going to take a block. Actually, I can probably take 2 blocks and place them where kind of between my heels and then sit back. And this is something some of us are able to sit back on our heels without a problem, but I like having a little height under my bum. So maybe you have a little height under your bum as well. And let your hands relax. Take your wrists and bring your palms to face away from you. Let your shoulders relax and your tailbone sinks to the earth. The crown of your head extends upwards, and just be there with that. See if your eyes can soften. Just noticing how you feel. And if the stretch, kind of the stretch that you find, this is actually a really good for your knees. Anytime we kind of squeeze the knees together, which those of us who have tender knees, it doesn't work. You might have a little more height, and that's perfectly fine as well. When I was on the trail, I had a really hard, I couldn't do something like this. It didn't work for me. My knee was way too swollen. So I understand that it's not always available to us, but if you can put a little bit of support, more support underneath of your hips to find a posture like this over time, it can really make a difference. I know I found that within myself in my own kind of rehab that I did when I came back from the trail. So it can happen over time. Sometimes we can work very gently without forcing and allow the benefits of a posture such as this. Taking a nice inhale and then letting it go. Gonna come up, remove your blocks, and let your legs come out long in front of you. Let your legs extend out and stretch them out. Bring your hands to your hips, kind of pressing through the palms of your hands and press through your heels and press your knees down towards your mat. And getting that stretch, getting that idea of squeeze and soak. So you squeeze your knees and kind of the backs of your knees together, and now you're allowing the synovial fluid to kind of soak and the lymph to soak the knees as well. So it's what kind of think of as happening there. And take a nice breath in and let it go. And then relax your feet, relax your wrists. We're going to come back to your back. And before you get there, you can grab a block. You have a block, you can grab a block, you can grab a blanket for the back of your head, and just make your way back however you do. Maybe you press your feet into the ground and your palms face each other, and you work on this rolling vertebrae by vertebrae, drawing your belly in towards your spine as you go. And then when you get there, maybe you bring your knees in because that just feels nice. And you rock a little from side to side. And let your head rock from side to side as well. Let your feet come down. And if you have a block, you could place it under your hips for hips on a block, for a kind of a supported bridge. You could also have a folded blanket, could work for this too. It's nice to have a supported bridge because it allows for a relaxation, especially of the pelvis, the low abdomen, and so just kind of resting there. And when you're in this posture and your tailbone is supported by the block and your feet can be on the ground, you can play around with this. Maybe you extend both legs long, which is going to give you quite a stretch through the hip flexors, and it's you can play around with this. This is something that if you're doing it, if you stretch your legs out, even in any bridge posture, you want to keep your chin towards your chest. So that's protecting the back of your neck. I'm actually going to roll that bottom of my blanket up again because it feels really good to me and it encourages my chin to come to my chest so the back of my neck is lengthened. and and from there you could stretch your legs out, maybe one leg at a time. You might even play around with your block. If you have a block, you could lift your hips and put it on the next high setting. I wouldn't put it on the highest one. I wouldn't suggest that for our practice. And that can be even a little bit more of that incline for your hips, your knees, and coming down to your chest. And so that can be good too. And maybe you extend your legs long. You might extend one leg long or both legs long. And wherever you are, you're finding your breath and allowing yourself to kind of soak in the benefits of your practice. And if your legs are outstretched, you're going to bend your knees, bring your feet to the ground, press through your feet, lift your hips, and lower them back down. Bring your knees into your chest, and we'll find a twist. Extend one leg long, and the other knee might rock it outside and across the body. I really like to do that, and I like to have a block for my knee to rest when it comes over to the side of my body. So you might find that we've done that several times, and so you're familiar with what feels good to you. You find the twist and let your head turn the opposite direction of your knee and let your arm relax. And take a deep breath and let it go. Letting your letting your that squeeze action happen. You're squeezing your abdomen and getting circulation through your spine, helping to encourage stretching and relaxation of your muscles that support your spine as well, the ones along your back. They're such thick muscles. They're so big and thick, and so seeing if you can kind of let them soften a little, let them relax. Ooh, make our way back to center, taking your time getting there, bringing both feet to the ground and arranging your hips so that they're on the ground. Bring your knees into your chest and rock a little. Maybe your nose comes up to your knees and then your head relaxes back down, which is a great way to lengthen the back of your neck and encourage them that chin to your chest. Straighten your other leg and find some movement in your hip as we come into that twist, bringing your bent knee across, maybe bringing it out to the side and across your body. And you have a block and you place it under the knee as you make your way into this twist. You can and have your hips pointing straight up and reach your arm out, opposite arm, and look over your shoulder. Take a deep inhale and just let it go. And letting your abdominal contents get this massage. You're getting a stretch through your shoulder. You're getting that twist in the spine that encourages the relaxation of the muscles surrounding it, circulation. It's just such great stuff. Find a smile into your breath, envisioning your breath traveling to some of the places that might maybe feel stiff or need a little more love. And when you come back to center, bring your feet to the ground or organize your hips so that they're even. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Bring your nose towards your knees. Roll into this little cocoon, little ball here. You're rocking a little and lengthen your neck, let it relax back down, chin a little bit towards the chest, rock your head, and bring your feet down. We'll come into our final relaxation. You can bring your hands under your hips and press your buttocks down, extending each leg long if that feels good to you, or maybe you have your feet on the ground and your knees falling in towards each other. You might have your hands resting on your body or down at your sides, but remove your glasses if you have glasses and I commit to this relaxation, which it's such a great place to be. It encourages all of the activity, all of the work that you've been doing, your practice. This is a practice in itself, just letting it soak in. You're like a sponge and you're soaking in the benefit of your practice and just letting yourself rest here. Let your jaw relax. And let your eyes soften. Feel your breath moving through your body. Your breath carrying all of the nutrients, drawing in everything that is helpful from around you into your lungs and into your bloodstream, and it makes its way to every nook and cranny. It really does. It touches every cell. in your body. And then there's that exchange with each exhalation. Your blood is then bringing back any of the components that you no longer need, your waste products, your respiration products, and comes back and releases through your lungs, releases back out into the world around you to be recycled. There's this constant cycling of energy. Smiling gently to yourself as this wonderful thing is occurring without you having to do anything. It's just so cool. And the fact that you are focusing on your body and taking time with your practice is encouraging that greater functionality, optimal functionality of your organs, of your tissues, of your cells, clarity of mind. You're tuning your instrument so that you can play your song of purpose, clarity, and joy. Feeling your breath, being here. And you're welcome to stay here as long as you like. There's no need to leave. If it works for you, that's a benefit to a practice in your own home. And if it's time to transition, make small movements with your fingers and your toes, and your wrists and ankles. And find a full body stretch. And on the side. And bend your knee and roll to your side. And be there. Cross your arms and let your hands come to your shoulders. Just give yourself little pats, little butterfly pats, rubbing your upper arm. And just this nice little hug. Mm. And slowly roll forward to push yourself upward. Making your way to a seat. Seeing yourself from side to side, from front to back, and length through your spine. And bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your belly. Offer yourself kindness and compassion, peace and love, and just smile. Let it permeate your being and be part of each interaction. And namaste, friend. Thank you so much for your practice today. It's just such an honor to get to be with you. And I'm going to hit my Stop of the recording baton.